Good morning. Last Friday we had an oral presentation on Bill Bryson's mother tongue. It was a fairly good presentation, but there were quite a few language mistakes, so I would like to begin with those. First kind of grammatical mistake, the way in which you need to introduce questions in indirect interrogatives. What you need to do is to come back to the standard order. How are you? I asked her how she was. I'm asking you how you are feeling. Now, for instance, last Friday I heard he begins by stating how is the English language complicated. No, the correct sentence would be he begins by stating how complicated the English language is. A second type of mistake involves relative pronouns. I heard words who. No, words is not a person. Word is a noun that doesn't refer to a person. So it's words which. Don't get confused between who and which. Third type of problem that I heard, of course, the fact that there are still quite a few S's that are missing, that have gone missing, as in he explained the other language instead of he explains the other languages. I also heard the spelling change. No, it's the spelling changes, or more way of spelling sounds. No, more ways of spelling sounds. Two kinds of alphabet. No, I explained that already in the video about final consonants. Two kinds of alphabets, and we really need to hear the final S. Now, this is about the S's that went missing. Now, there are a few S's that were added and that were wrong. Fourth rule in terms of grammar that I am reminding you about today, the fact that adjectives never take an S. Adjectives are not pluralized in English. For instance, I heard many immigrants nations. No, many immigrant nations. And in any case, this phrase doesn't sound too good. Mistakes about, how shall I put it? About irregular verbs, I heard one forgetted, which really jarred my ears. So you need to keep in mind that if you are an English major, you are supposed to know all your irregular verbs, and mistakes involving irregular verbs are strictly forbidden. So it's forget, forgot, forgotten, of course. Sixth type of mistake, and I will be through with the remarks about grammar. Every introduces singular nouns, and this is very important. So I heard every children, and this is a huge mistake. You must never ever make that mistake again. Every child, okay? It's not every, it's every child. So don't get this wrong, please. This is very, very important. Every child, every person, every man, and not every children, okay? So that's all for grammar mistakes. Now, a few words that were not pronounced correctly concerning the sounds. For instance, the sound J. The sound J, the plosive J. In logical, it's not logical, it's logical. Major, okay? So don't get this wrong. Other sounds, other consonantic sounds that were pronounced not the way they should be pronounced. You had second, for instance. Some of the students constantly make that mistake. It's not second or second, I can't even make it. It's second, okay? Second with an S. Mother. Okay, mother, not something else, I don't know, it's the sound, so practice this sound. Mother, drop, was, he was, okay, not he was, he was. Editor, and something I had already mentioned in my previous video, Yorkshire. It's not Yorkshire, it's Yorkshire. It's really important not to get this wrong. Author, so I remind you that this is the author writes that, the author suggests that. Danish, speech as well, it's a long E, speech, and I think I had a few others, yes. 15, south. 15 is with a short E, and south is with an F, okay, th. This is about the individual sounds. Now, concerning the words that were not stressed properly in this oral presentation on mother tongue, here are a few words with their correct stressing and their correct pronunciation. Revolution, revolutionary, Benjamin Franklin. Examples: logical, influential, William, college, section, development, journalism, vocabulary, chapter, evolution, prestigious, chancellor, dialects, million, people, 1988, confusing, sometimes, Jesperson, that's the name of famous linguist Otto Jesperson, British. And I've just realized that there was one grammatical or syntactic mistake I forgot to tell you about, and I will end this video with this one. When you refer to one part of one book, always say in chapter. It's in chapter 8, in chapter 12. It's not on the, it's not in the, it's in chapter 8. If you are talking about a poem, it's on line 6. So in the first paragraph, in chapter 3, in the third chapter, and on line 6 in the second stanza. So I know that it may be a bit confusing, that depending on the genre, depending on whether it's poetry, whether it's a part of a book, it's not the same preposition, but really keep that in mind. So I'm going to repeat that again. In chapter 2, in the second chapter, in the third paragraph, on line 3, in the second stanza. Okay, so don't get this wrong. Have a nice day.